Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Rex here with Man Art Creations. We're going to do a little more fishing today, and I'm going to show you exactly what we were looking at, what we were looking for, and why we picked the spots we did. It's summertime, just breaking into fall in South Texas, but it's still hot here. We're talking mid-90s temperature-wise and mid-90s to 100% humidity down here, so it's hot. And the fish react to that heat. The water in the shallows gets hot, gets low oxygen levels, and they retreat to deeper water. So if you're going to fish this time of year, you're going to be fishing early morning, late evening, or even at night for that matter. But we found that we're going to do a little redneck sight fishing. We're going to be targeting redfish and black drum, sight casting to them in water that's from 1 to 2 foot deep. We're catching them early in the morning up on these flats. You'll see areas like this. This is the Laguna Madre, south of Corpus Christi. Flower Bluff is a suburb of Corpus. Padre Island on the right. This is the Laguna Madre, runs all the way down to Mexico. It's got the Intracoastal Canal, which is about 12 foot deep, running along these spoil islands. And there's some deeper water in these dark areas that those fish can retreat to when the sun gets high. But in the evenings, early in the morning, all night long, they move up on these sandbars, chasing bait, shrimp, mullet, pinfish, and at this time there's a little 3 or 4 inch worm called a cinder worm. It's called all kinds of things, kind of reddish tan. That those, especially the black drum, get up on here chasing. You can see the little holes where they've been digging them up out of the ground, and this time of year they actually come out and spawn or whatever those worms do. And the big schools of black drum get up in there feeding on them. And so that's what we're targeting today, primarily redfish and black drum. Intracoastal Canal run along here just to the other side of this chain of islands. And then this darker deep water on the back side of the islands, and then right up against Padre Island itself, we've got these areas that we're targeting, these shallow flats that are showing up. These are where the fish, we're finding the schools of fish coming up on those shallows during the day, early mornings, late evening, when the water's cooler, got a little more oxygen in it. They're up chasing bait, digging worms, clams, shrimp, crabs, whatever they can find. It's a lot of little scattered grass beds, as you can see on these flats. And then when the water starts to warm up, the sun gets a little high, those fish can retreat into this deeper water, cooler water, really easily. And it's very simple to get to, not hard to find. Plus, the prevailing wind this time of year is coming in this direction from the southeast. So we can fish this shoreline and be protected from the wind. The water's crystal clear, as you'll see. There's a lot of grass, a lot of bait, and we caught a lot of fish. So I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you got any questions, I'd be glad to answer whatever if I can. And we'll see you on the next one. Well, here we go. We're going to get out on the water. That's the bridge going over the causeway over the Laguna from Corpus over to Padre Island. We're going to launch here, and as you can see, we ain't in no fancy rig. What we're doing don't take a lot of money. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do the kind of fishing we're doing. Swivel, circle hook, a little bit of 30-pound test monofilament for a leader, popping cork if you want. That's all you gotta have. Let's see, we get there just after sunrise. See, we're up against the island. Beautiful morning. We're in anywhere between 1 foot to 2 foot of water. There's my fishing partner there, Mr. Wayne Peoples. He's been fishing this area for decades. He knows what he's looking for. You can see we're up against the island, so we're protected from the wind. Water's crystal clear, and we're looking for tailing fish. or big wakes where they come across the flats. And here's our big 14-foot flat bottom boat with a 15 horsepower motor. Is all we needed to get there. Didn't need no, if you can afford a $100,000 boat, fantastic, man. Those are cool, but you don't. If you can't, you can still fish here. You see the white wind's blowing. You can hear it blowing in the background pretty good, but we're getting that protected shoreline. There's a fancy boat, but as you can look here, you can see Wayne. He's got a fish on. Got a black drum trying to get his stringer straightened out. But you can see, if you look close between the two of us, you can see these fish tailing every once in a while. Now, there are some mullet in there, but some of these are drum that are tailing in the water between where I am and where he is. And he's fighting one. He got one on the line and trying to straighten out his stringer at the same time. He's gonna get it though. But you'll notice between us, you'll see those fish come up and tail right in here. So there's a lot of bait, there's a lot of fish right here on this flat. And this water is crystal clear. So we're able to spot the fish either tailing or just swimming by. I mean, I had them swim within 4 or 5 feet of me, and I just flipped my bait out in front of them. Give them 5 or 6 foot lead so don't spook them. If you cast right on top of them, you'll spook them. But if you give them a little leeway, you can get right on top of them. And you can see here I've got a popping, rattling cork, but it's not necessary. You can see the fish, bait fish and drum and redfish tailing off over here in the distance. You can see, and I'm just easing over there where I can cast to them. And as the day and the sun gets up, they start to retreat to deeper and deeper water, and eventually, you can't sight fish for them anymore. There's a little old speckled trout. They've changed the limit now to 3 a day and 15 to 20 inches. So that one's just barely over the 15 mark. About 16, 17. Pretty skinny, but he's fun to catch. And you can see how clear the water is. A little bit of seagrass on the bottom. There's a lot of crabs and mullet and pinfish and cinder worms and those. Just a lot of food, a lot of forage for them. And those fish were some really big schools will get it. You catch a fish and another 30 or 40 will take off when you hook him. Here I caught a little redfish swim by. Flipped it out in front of him. This one is a little bit short. He's not gonna make it. He's gonna get turned loose. But he's fun to catch. And you can see how clear the water is. Just crystal clear, like fishing in your bathtub. You can see fish swimming for way out in front of you. They do a lot of duck hunting here too. There's a few scattered duck blinds around. But that's what we're fishing in. We're sight fishing for these black drum, redfish up on this flat. And you see there's some prop scars, what these are in the grass. People get up there with their boats, the boat salesman tells you that boat can go in 6 inches of water, and maybe the boat does, but that motor don't. It does tear up the flats a little bit, and eventually it's going to tear up a propeller and a water pump and whatever else, but that's their money. But just don't believe it when they say you can go shallow. And there, got a little upper slot red. It's about 25.5 inches, and the 28 is the upper end of the slot. And one slot trout. Ended up catching my limit of 5 black drum before the day was over. And Mr. Peoples, he caught 3 of his 5 black drum. But we're just easing along in this shallow water, and as you can see the fish swimming just like they're on the stringer, and they'll come that 5 or 6 feet from you before they'll notice you, and then they kind of veer off. And you just flip them out there. I mean, a bass fisherman would love it. It'd just be like flipping a jigging pig. And now we're at the fillet table. Yeah, we're gonna take some home. Black drum, I think, eat just probably better than the redfish. And then, once upon a time, brown pelicans were extinct, or almost extinct, they told us. And boy, now there's a ton of them down here. They all just waiting for the scraps. But that's it, guys. Just a short trip down. Didn't take but us a couple hours to catch our limit. Wasn't very far of a run, and it didn't take a lot of money to do it. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one, guys.